So we've come together in Krishna time. And what's special about Krishna's time in Goloka Vrindavan? Never separated from past, present and future, or past and future, never separated, living in the eternal present. One of those inconceivable things. So we are right on, therefore we're right on time, because it's the eternal present. We can't be late, can we? Dandavat Pranam, one and all. And I believe we're going to have Gaura Hari and Krishna Lalana join us too, from somewhere in Australia, because they asked a few minutes ago for the code word.
Perfect. And talking about Gaudahari, when he last time asked about what good advice could we get from Hiranyakashipu, at the end of your explanation, you asked him, you said, if he knew something about it. So he replied, and he said, I have no answers, Maharaj, but I have some memory of him giving advice to Ramachandra and company, saying, if it's auspicious, do it now. If it's inauspicious, do it later. But I have very bad memory, so it could be totally jumbled in my Kichari mind. A minute later, he said, wait, that's Ravan. Do you see? Kichari.
Okay, well, we've got our quote from Gaura Hari in his absence. We'll let him know we heard his answer. Anyhow, actually, you know, afterwards, it did become a little clear that he did give advice. Hiranyakashipu. He gave advice after his brother Hiranyaksha had died. And because remember, well, remember or not, well, this all begins some time ago. Why? Oh, somebody's shaking their head. Have I got something wrong, Parmanandru? Oh, you're shaking your head too? Oh, to Ketu, the dog. Okay. But you can shake your head to me too. We aspire to be a dog for the Vaishnavas. No, but Hiranyakashipu, when Hiranyaksha had been killed, then Hiranyaksha's wives and relatives, they're all grieving over Hiranyaksha's death. And then actually he teaches Atmagyan, knowledge of the soul as opposed to the body, to the wives and relatives of Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyakashipu did in fact give some good advice. And when you read that part, which I'm not sure if it's the earlier part of the 7th canto or the previous canto, I'm not sure, but wherever it is there, then we've got Hiranyakashipu giving good advice. And when we read that, it just sounds, oh yes, this is the very basis of Krishna consciousness, that we're not our body. Ah, Gaura Hari, Das Prabhu.
Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat. And Krishna Lalana Devidasi also joining us in a separate window. So Dandavat to you both and to all else who've joined in the meantime. In fact, Dandavats to everybody. We're almost 5 minutes in. So let Narayani's audio join if she's connecting. Anyhow, she can hear us all. So let us give obeisances to each other as we've come together first. So Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindubhya, Evacha, Patitanam, Pavanebhyo, Vaishnaveyo Namo Namaha. So, Gaura Hari Prabhu, we just heard Praneshwari. She was reading the messages left over from last week, and she had a message from you about Hiranyakashipu giving good advice. And then you were thinking, oh, it was about doing auspicious things immediately, and other things which need to be done but not so auspicious, you leave them until late as possible. And anyhow, that was Ravana to Ramachandra. However, we did reflect on the fact that Hiranyakashipu did give good advice. He gave advice to the relatives of his brother, his younger brother, Hiranyaksha, that when he was killed by Vishnu as the boar incarnation, then he told about knowledge of the soul to the relatives. Hiranyakashipu told very good advice to the relatives. Why are you grieving, etc., etc. Nirupama and, I don't have my specs, the devotees of Govinda land.
Anjari Priya, Dandavat Gurudev.
Jai, Dandavat to you both joining us. I better put on some specs and I can see everybody. Jai, in a white carpeted, decorated temple room, white walled, white carpeted, white ceiling, white decoration temple room. Govinda land in central Ukraine. Jai. All right, so here we are. Oh, a hand up already. Praneshwari Devidasi. Another
Yes,
contribution or question, perhaps.
Yes, it's Chintamani Didi. She has a question in the chat.
Uh-huh.
And I found information about her last question about how can we develop ruchi for chanting the holy name. So first, let's answer this new question, and then I will post in the chat the answer for her.
All right. Sorry, could you just repeat that question?
Her question now is, how can I increase my taste for reading Krishna conscious literature?
For reading Krishna conscious literature. Well, the thing is, if it's possible to read with devotees and regularly, then really we develop a taste. And if we're by ourselves, to read regularly, because I think realistically, and especially when we're here on Zoom, we understand that most of the devotees really, they are living most of their life by themselves and coming to the temples, when they can, but to try to have some self regulation, so that we can give ourselves that slot, early in the morning for doing the right things, which means giving ourselves that sadhana. And sadhana is not a 4-letter word. It has more than 4 letters. Sometimes devotees say, oh, we're in Ragamarg, we don't have to do sadhana. We do have to do some sadhana, sorry. Or you don't have to take my advice. We are told that we are to do sadhana because the sadhana builds our taste, builds our journey, builds our faith in our journey. But that doesn't mean it's a rigid sadhana in that sense. But when we start to have a routine of reading, when we feel, oh, I'm not inclined, I don't want to get out of bed, and we still get up out of bed and we do these things, then we realize it is the right thing to do. It's like going to the temple program or something. We've been in Navadip, we've been in places where we think, oh, I've got other things to do, not to go to the program. Whenever we go to the program, we always think, whatever crossed my mind to think I should not have come to the program. So we just have to have a little bit of self-determination, in the sense of, don't forget, our mind and our intelligence are not the same thing. They're listed separately. So I can say that by reading the books, the taste for reading the books, the taste for chanting the japa, comes from actually doing it. And as we have in the Upadeshamritam, then Rupa Goswami says about chanting the holy name, that it is a great wonder that just by chanting the holy name, carefully and regularly, then that itself changes. It changes the taste of our tongue. So this is the matter for our devotional practices. In the beginning or even along the way, we can become a little lethargic to doing these things. But then when we can keep ourselves within the regular routine, of waking, bathing, chanting, or if we can, doing the puja, reading, doing something wherever we are, whether we're in a temple or whether we're at home, living in a van, living on a boat, as we have devotees do live on boats and things too. Wherever we are, then by following the process, then we will gain something, we hope, but especially when we can follow the process with devotees. Sadhu Sangha, from the hearts of the devotees. And if you're wondering what to read, read The Loving Search for the Lost Servant. Read Affectionate Guidance. And I can point out one thing, that all of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas from any family anywhere who's actually like followers of Mahaprabhu Nityananda, they're all reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. They're all reading Srimad Bhagavatam. They're all reading Bhagavad Gita. And we are part of them. We are all reading these books too, in proper measure. We're not sitting down, waking up and reading them all day long, putting the book down, going to bed and reading them again. We're reading as part, doing seva, reading part in the evening for some time, this way. And this is our process. But don't forget, we have the invaluable contribution, the invaluable addition, if you like, means we've got Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, Srila Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. Guru Maharaj means Srila Srila Maharaj, Gurudev is Srila Govinda Maharaj. This is most valuable for us, that we've got their contribution, their angle of seeing the various pastimes that we're reading in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the examples given and the pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, I mean, please try to read also steadily the books of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj. And you'll find that by doing that, you actually get through the books, bit by bit, you get through the books. But if you want to listen to Mahananda's advice, is don't read the books just once. If it's the first time especially that you're reading The Loving Search for the Lost Servant, read it at least twice. When you get to the end, start at the beginning again. It is great wealth to do that, and they're not for just reading and putting on the shelf. And then, yes, I read that. Yes, the book came out I know that book, it came out in 1984. Oh, no, it didn't. Loving Search for the Lost Servant came out in probably 1986. Anyhow, yes. I was one of the first people to get that book. I read that book. It's a very good book. Here it is on my shelf. But it's our nourishment book. As we say, you don't have breakfast just once a day. No, yes, you do. You do have breakfast once a day. You don't have breakfast once a month or once a year. You have breakfast daily, so we need our breakfast, lunch, and dinner too. Hare Krishna. Oh my goodness, I just opened the chat. There's lots of chat in there. How can I increase my taste for reading Krishna conscious literature? Yes. Association with the devotees also is very, very good. I mean, really, we're always coming back to associating with the devotees because there is transmission through the heart. And yesterday, one of our good devotees who is no longer on this planet, Bhakti Sampat Narayan Maharaj, he was a good-hearted devotee. And yesterday, we heard one of his advices to the devotees saying how we need two things. And I don't know if this is exactly a quote from a book, but it struck the heart of somebody from like a decade ago, that we need some scriptural reading, some background. So we've got the understanding from our gurus. We need to have some knowledge of what we're doing, the science of Krishna consciousness. But we need some heart transaction. We need something which isn't actually in the book, except the books indicate it, but it's the relationship with the Vaishnavas and with Guru. So that I thought also, the two kinds of nourishment which he'd pointed out to the devotees. And two kinds of nourishment. One is to have our science of Krishna consciousness, to know what is what, to have some understanding and to share the experiences of previous great devotees who've gone along the path before. These are recounted in the scripture. And the other is to have connection with the Vaishnavas and with Guru, to have the connection of heart. And that is like a different, where he was listing this as a different category. When I thought about it, then yes, it's two kinds of nourishment. Nourishment from the scriptures, which is all strengthening our faith, strengthening our practices, strengthening our surrender, and the nourishment of the personal heart-to-heart transaction, as Gurudev would many times say. Nourishment of the heart from the heart of the Vaishnavas. And so should I be reading this? Well, it should be. I think we should all be reading it. Praneshri is given to everyone. Oh, to Chintamani regarding developing ruchi for chanting our japa beads.
So this is something I found, and I remember her question. So I have this message for her. After you read it, then you answer the question for her, to her, about developing ruchi for chanting the japas. But these are the words. These are the words of Srila Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
I was reading and I thought, oh, this is related to the question of Chintamani last week.
Oh, okay, so, very good. So I'll read the answer about how to increase our attraction for chanting.
Yes, please.
Then Guru Maharaj is answering Srila Guru Maharaj says, the most important thing is to engage in service. Acha, there we are, yes. Service of the name and service of the Guru Vaishnava are almost equal. But still, to a certain extent, the basis must be the service of the holy name. Your Guru Maharaj introduced a daily minimum of 16 rounds. And our Guru Maharaj, means Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, instructed that we must chant at least 4 rounds per day on the mala, the rosary, the mala. But this is a minor difference, because our Guru Maharaj wanted that we be very busily engaged in the various services. But we must see that the mala does not fast. Some sort of service must be done to her, to the mala, okay. Some sort of service must be done to her by way of chanting at least 4 rounds daily. That was his instruction. But he also instructed that when one had the opportunity, he could chant more and more. Yes. Service, yes. Here Guru Maharaj stressing service to the name and service to Guru Vaishnava. Hare Krishna, Govinda Govinda. Amiya Sindhu Prabhu has joined us. Radha Sundari Devi Dasi has joined us. Jai. And Narayan is revealed her form in the wet forest by the looks of it. The wet forest in California. And Rupanuga Prabhu has not revealed his form, but he's probably in sunny beach or sunny somewhere in Australia. And Rupa Vilas Prabhu is with us, and he's in Manila. Rupa Vilas disappeared when I mentioned his name. Unless as you were saying earlier, the pictures do dance on the screen, so maybe he's dancing somewhere. Hare Krishna. So am I allowed to ask some news from Mayapur, Navadip? Good news. I'm wanting good news here. We're wanting a connection with Mayapur and Navadip. We've got two representatives there now. We've got Radha Sundari and Amir Sindhu. And I think Amir Sindhu's in Navadip, Mayapur. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. We have to call out Navadip, call out the holy name of the Dham in service. Amir Sindhu Prabhu, tell us
Dandavats, Maharaj,
something
Dandavats.
transcendental from the transcendental land.
Transcendental. I don't know if I can say something transcendental, but we were just talking yesterday with Paramananda Prabhu about how much Mayapur has grown. It's a very big town now. It's like city. Thousands and thousands of devotees living here. So very nice to see. It's like a big big town, and everybody who is living here is a devotee, and all the local people here, everybody's very well trained in the mood of service and assisting the devotees. So very special experience here to be in the holy dham, but also to be surrounded by so many devotees, so many people in the service mood. So lots of constructions going on here. Everybody's building something. More and more houses are built, and more people will come. So I think will be very nice, and it is very, very special, very nice town already. So very happy to be here. And Holy Dham is also very, very special. Like everything is happening instantly here. You just thinking about something, then instantly it is happening. You're thinking, oh, how can I meet this person to give something? And this person is coming around the corner, and everybody's feeling something divine here, and everybody loves Holy Dham, and everybody's very excited to be here. So, and that's our fortune. I know what I can say more.
So just it's not a mundane question.
Maybe
but
we can ask the weather update from we can ask weather update from Radha Sundari.
And just a quick question, and that is the temple finished? Is that big temple finished? Can you hear us? Am I talking to myself?
No, no, somebody just called me, so I think I might be behind. But the big temple is not finished. I think it will take like another year or two, because also because of the lockdowns, it's a little bit delayed.
Okay.
But they're still working on it, and the body is there, but the decoration, everything inside will take like another year, I think.
All right. Okay, that's my question, because okay, it's just my question. Yes. All right. So Radha Sundari, were you about to give us a weather update by the request of Amir Sindhu Prabhu?
Dandavat.
Dandavat.
Maybe I can show you the weather after cyclone. It's much better, and it's again hot, I think.
So the cyclone hit, but much damage or not? It just hit, right?
Yeah, it was not so strong. Just rain few days, and also wind, but everything is fine, because in some states there is so many broken things. We didn't have all trees is all right, and yeah, little bit cloud today. Yesterday was blue sky, and today a little bit cloudy. This is the weather.
All right, that's the weather update from Mayapur, and seeing the city growing around. And actually, I mean, for myself anyway, I hope it's not boring for everybody else. It's wonderful just to have a little touch from Navadip. It is the holy land And it is where all of our good fortune, all of our fortune for the whole world is coming from Mayapur, from Navadip, from Koladeep, also in particular, from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat in particular. But this is the source of our great fortune. So we know that this is the surface, but it was also predicted that from Mayapur, then one particularly grand temple will come, be the center of a city, and you see, city of devotees' flats, not the same as the Stalinsky flats of the Eastern Bloc countries. All right, beautiful. Okay, so let us continue with our Krishna consciousness. Actually, with the reminder that Mahaprabhu, he's brought the holy name for this age. Mahaprabhu has brought the Maha Mantra infused with Krishna Prema. So if we can get a touch of these things, if we can have that remembrance of Mahaprabhu's grace, also we can say it's the grace of Nittai and Gauranga that we're coming, that we're able to chant the holy names. Before chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are chanting Panchatattva Mantra, not to neglect that the Panchatattva Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, they're coming to distribute and to give this holy name. Our connection is there through the Parampara. Hare Krishna. And can we invite Kumkum Devi Dasi to say a few words? She's been chanting Hare Krishna for, I wonder how many millions of times, if we were to add it up. After millions of times of chanting the holy names, Kumkum Devi, give us a tip.
Okay. Well, I am reminded of how our gurus have always taught us that it's, if the holy name even being chanted one time will grant us more liberation than we would ever require. So honestly, I don't believe I've ever once chanted the name, but I have tried to follow that blessed instruction for a long time now. I was reminded of a very important question about chanting on japa. I was able to ask Srila Govinda Maharaj one time, and that is that I asked some people to increase their quantity, had introduced different methods of japa. And so even taking a 16 beads, which, you know, is too few, so you have to multiply or divide however many you think you're chanting by 4. But they then could wear it on one wrist. And so then chant like this when they're doing anything. They might be, you know, driving a car, anything, but could chant like this on beats like that, not what their guru had given to them. Or even something, a clicker, a metal thing where you can go count things and chanting like that and then doing anything. And so I was able to ask Srila Gurudev about that because I said, you have taught us that you speak of the japa mala like they're a person, and you tell us don't have them fast. So like they're a deity. And he answered simply, he just said, yes, that which the guru is given, we don't change. So I felt very grateful to hear that. So that chanting japa is very serene. It's a connection with our guru from one of the very first parts of the relationship that we have with our guru is when he gives us that mala, and we always want to chant, and we want to take care of those particular mala our whole life. We don't want to ever lose them. We don't want to set them down like we would set down our anything else that we might lose. So we want to always be cognizant of where they are. And like Maharaj was saying, that early morning, this sets the mood for the whole day. This is what my day will start with. This is waking up. This is how we wake up. It's what we want to wake up to. And so if we do that, and if we can do that with devotees, and if we can then, just get started, but then remember why our guru would ask us to do this, or really he's recommending that we do it. His asking is a recommendation for our benefit, and then we're completely protected. So it might not seem like the most natural thing, especially for people not born in a Vaishnava family, but it is the best benefit that we can give to ourselves. So that will always see us through anything.
Jai, yes, indeed.
It will connect us to, we can think about the six Sastakam prayers, and we will be getting all of that as well, and setting the day for service.
Yes, Kom Didi, and very good you share that, because it is, we've also heard that, and it's in the theme too of chanting japa is Sevā also.
Yes.
And as Guru Maharaj pointed out here in that excerpt that Paneshwari gave, that it's a service to the holy name. And we are chanting japa by instruction, which is service. It means following the instruction of the Guru. So the whole conception that we are chanting japa as service and doing everything as service. And what is our association with the devotees is service. Also service to the devotees, service to the holy name. And just as there is service to the holy name, 10 offenses to avoid, and the very first instruction given by Guru to every devotee practically is learn the 10 offenses and avoid them. That's why probably back to basics class number one, very number one was probably the 10 offenses to the holy name, because we always want to put that in our heart. And I mean, I think that every one of you now, I hope, really can just immediately say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because we need to be consciously thinking of those 10 offenses. It's all right, I'm not going to put you on the spot. You don't have to close your Zoom link or anything. But, not you, Kumkum, I know you know, but I mean, this is really part of our very foundation, that the service of the holy name, we are to chant, and to chant in service mood, and the mood of our chanting, which is given by Guru Maharaj. And again, the search for Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful, has got beautiful transcript there of Guru Maharaj's directives about how to chant the holy name of the Lord. Yes, Kumkum Didi, right, and Gurudev did not approve of the clickers. And we've had devotees like clicking, sitting there clicking. Oh, didn't go down well with Gurudev. And then we saw some, the fashionable clickers. There were different clickers that became fashionable. But yeah, I think that lasted a short time until the devotees got to understand, no, we chant on the mala. But you were mentioning about not losing the beads. You know, a devotee had his car stolen and the beads were in the car, and Gurudev sort of chastised the devotee. You know, your car can be stolen, but not your beads. Keep your beads safely. He lost his car and the beads. But Gurudev didn't seem to mind about the car, but he did mind about the beads. So just a little reflection. And that devotee also, he noted, oh, my car, but the beads was what Gurudev was concerned about. Don't lose your beads. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, please take a peek in Facebook.
Yes, I believe Nitya, yes, I was about to also mention Nityananda Ram Prabhu. Very good to see you with us. Anukul Chandra with us, and on Facebook. Now, for some reason, it's jumped away. Oh, Krishna Priya Devi Dasi Tandavat. And happy to have you all with us. And obeisances to each of you and those who I don't know who are there too. Sometimes you have additional names in Praneshwari Didi. Sometimes you know more people are there than I know who are there. If I miss somebody, please tell me.
There is a Michael Thompson, but I don't know his spiritual name. When you were commenting about the number of rounds, he mentioned 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I replied, or at least 4 rounds if you're immersed all day in Sevā.
Okay, beautiful. You do see more than I do because I don't see his name there. But very good, Michael. Yes, happy for your inquiry. Hare Krishna. And Paramanand Prabhu is being very silent today. We've seen him sending out Milo. And how is it? We just heard from Amir Sindhu Prabhu that in the Holy Dham, like things you think about tend to happen immediately. And it's true, somehow in the Dham, the action and reaction and result of thoughts and deeds and everything seems to come very quickly, very much on the surface. And also you see there is a dog, the first dog in the world I know that's called Milo was there in Chiang Mai. And then here in Italy, here we are, and we've got a dog called Milo living nearby. Who would think it?
There's a dog Milo.
Is Bhakti Lalita there?
Oh yeah, she's there. Wherever Ketu is, or wherever Lalita is, so is her eternal associate.
We're fortunate to have Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi's gracious glance. But that's almost the 11th of a second example there, a quick glimpse of Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi, no doubt doing Sevā in Chiang Mai. Paramananda Prabhu, kindly, we are coming to you to get some taste in chanting the name of the Lord, reading the book, and any other matter that you may like to infuse us with.
Maharaj, I have nothing to infuse anybody with, but I got some inspiration with Kumkum Didi's speech. And she mentioned Shikshashtakam, and really this is the instructions of how to proceed in chanting the holy names and generally how to proceed in our devotional life. And the first, of course, every shloka, really, every shloka is infinitely deep, an infinitely deep mine of spiritual gems. But nam nama kari bahudhani ja sarva shakti statarpita niyamita smaranena kala hitadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mama pitur daivam idrishame hajjanina nuraga. So Mahaprabhu is saying there is no strict rules and regulations. It's so simple. Just take the holy name. Take it, chant it. You will feel bliss on every step. Anyhow, but somehow it is not coming to me. So what shall I do? Next shloka. Trinada pisa nishina daro rivasa krishna amanina manadana kirtanya sadaharik. That's how you perform your kirtan. That's how you chant. Next shloka. Nadhanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama. Janmani Janmanishwar Bhavatat Bhaktir Ahaitu Kitvai. I don't want anything whatsoever but loving devotion to your lotus feet. And that takes us in that direction. Where do we get that devotion? Where do we get bhakti? We can only get bhakti where the bhakti already exists, from one who possesses bhakti, bhaktyam sanjadaya bhaktyam. So we must go there, devotees' lotus feet. That's where it all starts. Everywhere in the scriptures, we're speaking of scriptures, we're speaking of heart, but everywhere it is said, go to devotee. This is where it's starting. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vasa, Srimurtira, Shradaya Sivan. That's another Mahaprabhu's instruction from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It starts from Sadhu Sangha, the association. Then inspiration to chant come. Then inspiration to serve come, then you will reside in a holy place forever. And you will worship the lotus feet of the Lord there with full faith. And you will be overflown. You'll be overwhelmed by the taste and what is to come next. We're not venturing that far. So we just want to stay in Trinada Pisa Mishna platform and really aspiring for that platform. So this is how we chant, and this is how we get inspiration. In a similar way, as we're getting bhakti from one who has bhakti, where do we get the taste? From one who acquired that taste. Where we get inspiration? From one who is inspired. And Srila Rupa Goswami, since Srila Madhusudana Maharaj, always taking us and pointing us the importance of Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita. Upadeshamrita, just the word, the nectar of divine instructions. Who is he instructing? He is sharing. It's not even instructions like in a school or university. It's just, he's pouring his heart. He's saying, I came here to give you this, take it. These are the steps. You may say, oh, I don't know, it's too high for me, it's too deep for me. But here is the steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. 11 steps he's giving. And everything, think about it. In 11 verses, he captured the whole Vedic world, the whole Vaishnava scripture world, the whole poetry. Everything is in there, in 11 verses. Who can do it but Rupa Goswami? Why he can do it? And Swarupa Damodar answered that question when Mahaprabhu asked him, how is that possible Rupa can understand that? And Swarupa Damodar said, must have been possible by your grace only, otherwise how is that possible? So that mercy continues on. Like this morning, devotee is asking, how did Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami receive that all well? How did he came by it? So we spoke about it this morning. How did that happen? Everything comes to us by the grace of the devotee. And so, I mean, we can just continue on and on and on about it, but really fundamental principle, associate with those who have faith, those who have affection, those who have some love, inspiration, enthusiasm. And there is a reason, the enthusiasm in chanting and performing our devotional activities, Rupa Goswami puts it up front, utsahan nishcharyat dharya, the first quality, utsahan, enthusiasm. And then it's continuous. And then in 8th verse of Upadeshamrita, he concludes the essence, he's giving us the essence of all instructions. Satnam Rupa Charitadi Sukirtanam Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasini Yoja Tishtam Brajetat Anuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayet Akilamit Upadesha Saram. This is Upadesha Saram. This is the essence of all instructions. And again, over there, he's saying a few things, but he's also pointing out Anuragi Jananugami. You have to associate with one who is Anuragi, who is feeling that, who is having that taste. They will give it to you. Stay with them, serve them. Wherever they stay is the holy place. Wherever you will be in their presence, you will feel necessity of chanting. You will feel that inspiration in your heart. This is the power of the Vaishnava. This is the power of the sadhu. And they're not keeping it to themselves. They want to share it with everybody. They're very generous. This is their nature. And Maharaj, can I ask Lalita to give some advice? How to chant with enthusiasm?
Yes, if you can capture her for more than an 11th of a second.
She's hiding. Oh, look at this. Look. He just received some special mercy.
Oh my goodness. K2. Oh, K2. Can he hear? K2? Oh, K2. Oh, he's gone into Samadhi.
Yes, it's in total Samadhi.
Okay. Yes, back to Lalita Devidasi. We are
everybody. Ooh, I don't want to see myself here. Thank you all for being together. It gives me inspiration to know that Madhusudan Maharaj is nourishing you all and you're joining together, and it's so substantial and real. We never realized that before. how meeting together virtually is just as powerful. So I'm just sweeping the floor and doing my morning duties here. I missed the topic. What was I supposed to say?
Enthusiasm, how to
Carmenanda
have
volunteered me
enthusiasm for
something.
chanting
What was
japa
that? I didn't
and
even hear it. Can you say, Madhusudan Maharaj?
enthusiasm, how to have enthusiasm for japa, for
New
reading the books,
spotlight.
for service.
Are we still here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the question?
We want to, the question is how to get enthusiasm, ruchi, some taste for chanting japa, reading the books, etc.
Mhm. By associating with the enthusiastic. We get hunger by being around those who are hungry. And we had that experience with Srila Gurudev. Sometimes we'd take full prasadam, and then after the feast, he would start describing different preparations that he appreciates so much, and we'd all get hungry again. So we have that, that living example. Madhusudan Maharaj, you must have experienced that too.
Oh, yes.
Even his elaborate descriptions of different types of prasadam that he appreciates so much, and how to cook things, and he'd make us all hungry just by his instructions and his descriptions. So by associating with the hungry, we become hungry. By associating with the enthusiastic, we become enthusiastic. That's what I've heard.
That's what you've heard, that's what you felt, that's what you do. Jai,
we do together.
And one other advice we're going to ask from you, that how every day that we can continue.
Yes.
Not just Sundays.
I can say how I continue every day.
Okay.
I set my alarm for 4 a.m., like 4:07, because I like the number 7. And I get up and it's dark out. And I think, why do I have to get up so early? It's still dark. And I have this whole conversation every morning. Why do I need to get up? And then my intelligence tells my mind, this could be your last day. And you have so much being given to you by Guru and Gauranga and the Vaishnavas. This is your chance to realize that gift, to take that gift to heart and practically apply it today. So you've got to get up. This is, that kind of virtuous intelligence that's always there wanting to help us and can be there to make us do the right thing. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, someone asked, how do we control our senses? And he said, by a virtuous attitude. With that attitude in mind that I am not the enjoyer. Everything is not meant for my enjoyment. And this kind of thinking will control one, the mind, the senses, from exploiting and engaging in sense gratification for one's own egocentric sense experience. So just thinking, remembering, why am I here, and how can I best realize the fortune that's coming to us. So every day is a new day to pursue this. And we don't know how many days we'll get, but we have now, we have the present moment, we have today. So let's go for it. So this kind of inner dialogue from, and also by the grace of our gurus, we know this. We've been taught and trained, then we must do our best to be good soldiers and real disciples and do our best. Okay, is that a satisfactory answer?
10 out of 10.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Hare Krishna. Oh, I'm not the teacher. And we're coming together to get inspiration from each other. This is family gathering. So Bhakti Lalita, yes, we appreciate your contribution, your sharing.
Yeah. Thank you. Paramananda just dropped his iPad on me and ran. So I see him.
Okay.
Thank you. Dandavat.
All right, Bhakti Lalita, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. And on behalf of all the devotees. Oh my goodness.
Ishtagoshti.
Ishtagoshti, right? I was thinking, what time is it for this? 9:50 in the morning. Ishtagoshti. Jai, living. Dandavat, Dandavat. All right, beautiful. So this is our temple. You see, Govinda, not only me, we've got a whole group of devotees.
The whole
here.
world is there.
Back.
There you go.
Where you've joined us on the back to basics, where we've also stressed, not today, but in the past, about Ishtagoshti and the value of Ishtagoshti. And here we are, live, impromptu. We've come to you and caught you.
Maharaj, you give some advice to all the devotees who gathered here.
Well, I can give. Adapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadina kirtanya sada harihi.
The devotees are saying again.
We need a life of service. And I can read you, if you like, because I read this yesterday and it kind of stayed in my heart. I read Gurudev, guess what, talking about this verse, but with another angle, you know, how he's always giving something new. And so very briefly, I'll just say, and the theme yesterday, we were searching about a life of service. And Gurudev is explaining this verse. Then he says, Amanina manadina. The life of service is the eternal property of the exalted Jiva soul, or the liberated soul. And that is also the property of everyone, a life of service. So he's saying this in relation to Amanina manadina. Therefore, Gurudev says, so you must respect everyone without expecting respect in return. By following these principles, always sing the glories of the Supreme Lord. So anyhow, another way of seeing this verse, that we need a life of service. And so this verse is also giving us our opportunity, our direction for our life of service, which is what you are doing. So we are happy to be able to say at least a couple of words from Gurudev in the Ishtagoshti.
Jai.
Jai.
All the
Worldwide
Predana, what is it? Predana, devotees ki jai. All
Predana.
Predaner Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Beautiful. All right, so please continue with your Ishtagoshti happily. we're very happy to be there and to share with all of the devotees from all over the world. They're here with us from Colombia. Now Nityananda Ram Prabhu is showing his form on Zoom. We saw you happily on Facebook. Prabhu, nice to see you. Have you more direct association this way happily.
Dandava Maharaj, Dandava Pranan, Dandava to all the devotees around the world. Very, very happy to have this opportunity to meet you all. I have been waiting for the Zoom, but could not easily get the way to be in. But now I'm very, very happy to see all the family together and pay my humble obeisances to all of you with all my heart.
Jai. Jai Nityananda Ram Prabhu, and Nityananda Ram Prabhu, senior devotee, life of experience, and we can hear from you also.
I also like your humor style, Maharaj. This is my favorite. Very, very good humor.
This is your humorous style to say that.
No,
I was being serious.
I just try to be the more to follow your first step in this life or next life. Really, very happy to see you.
Prabhu, we're very happy to have you with us.
And all the devotees around the world together. Very, very happy. Thank you very much for inviting me to this meeting.
And Prabhu, it's the same Zoom, whatever it is, code to go in, and the same Zoom password every. Well,
okay.
Here it's
recurrent. It's a recurrent one.
It's regular, yeah. So you're welcome every time, yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Maharaj. I will be here now in Colombia, 10 o'clock p.m. Very good time.
All right,
very
good.
nice time.
Jai. And just one other thing I'd like to mention, and that is about the holy name and chanting the holy name. And if Jayadev and Chintamani are with us still, I think so. Yes, anyhow, just one little thing to add, that yesterday
We are.
You are? Okay, great, we can see you too. And that is that yesterday I was listening to a talk, a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, because we do these things. I always say to you, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, this really, we're going to get so much nourishment. And there,
Let's wait a few seconds until he gets back. He has to reconnect. Yes, he has to reconnect. He is here.
oh dear. Anyhow, I was just I know we've come to the end, but just very briefly, Srila Prabhupada saying that in the way Srila Prabhupada says, he's saying how this is a simple process that's been given to us by Mahaprabhu, but people don't want to take to a simple process. They want something complicated. They want to do, and then it's an audio, I couldn't see his action, but he's saying they want to do some closing the nose here, closing the nose there, doing some difficult things. And he's saying when something is difficult, they're thinking, oh, then I must get something from the difficulty. But Mahaprabhu is so kind. He's given us the Maha Mantra. Chant the holy name. This simple process, you will get everything with the minimum difficulty. But Srila Prabhupada is saying, but because it is not difficult, they are thinking that it is a small matter. So this also struck me that, yes, the holy name, really it is not difficult, but everything is there. And this is, again, the grace of Mahaprabhu. Then even more we feel, yes, so I need to do that not difficult thing, which is to chant, following the way we've been given, to chant the holy name nicely and make our life successful. And by the way, if you're accustomed to reading and hearing Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj's lectures, when you hear Srila Prabhupada's lectures, you see the hidden humor within his lecture. You can see they've all been together directly, and sometimes when we watch Srila Prabhupada's lectures and we see all the devotees around, you see nobody gets it, but Srila Prabhupada is having some amusing, it's almost like, okay, Gurudev or Guru Maharaj is beside him somewhere, and he's saying these like hidden amusing things, and the devotees are all sitting there very seriously in front of him. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, sometimes also the devotees would repeat because it's Srila Prabhupada's words, but he was a master of what they call deadpan humor, but not understanding that he was being humorous. And so they would simply repeat his words, and then it would not sound humorous at all. But one time someone asked him if they're in the milk ocean, are there fish? And quite somberly he said, yes, there are curd fish. We heard that all over every Bhagavatam class. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
It's actually, Maharaj, it seems to be that every Vaishnava, substantial Vaishnava, have the sense of humor. Even Sanatan Goswami, I remember reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it's infused with that humor, actually.
Yeah.
And Krishna is known as Dhira Lalita, means funny, we can say, but also very humorous, and he is the source of that humor.
And Krishna taught the monkeys in Vrindavan how to be naughty. This is our purport. They were naughty then. The monkeys were naughty then, you see. Stealing, the monkeys are coming and stealing things. Hare Krishna. All right, dear devotees. Oh yes, Praneshri's got her hand up.
Maharaj, one comment from Krishna Priya. She says, when Srila Gurudev was here in Sokel, one time he said that chanting our japa will increase the quality of our service. Jai Gurudev.
Krishna Priya, many thanks. Your beautiful contribution. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let us remember all of these things and continue our devotional life as smoothly as possible. And that smoothness will be in the association of devotees. All right, to you all in different quarters, different places, let us keep our head in the dust of Navadip. Let us keep our head in the dust of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, means of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, giving us Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's conception. In all of these spiritual dusts, let us keep our head, our heart, and let us control our senses and mind with the good intelligence that they've trying to infuse to us, virtuous, with virtuous mood. As Bhakti Lalita is saying, continue our days and moments, every moment we should try to use carefully. So to all of you who are with us on Facebook, here on Zoom, who will see later on as devotees do, then our humble obeisances to you all, and our big jais to our grand Paramahamsa masters, Srila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, founder Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, and jai his inseparable Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, our affectionate guide and guardian ki jai. And Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Vishvarenya, the worldwide worshipable Guru, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Srila Satchitananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, our Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai, our present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai, and all the assembled and unassembled devotees ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpa Turubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. My Dandavat to you all.
London, Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Wishing you successful Sevā week and to be continued our Harikatha. And we already have some thoughts what we should be revisiting next week in just a few days' time. But let us revisit each other, and to all of you, Narayani Nadia Devidasi, outside having a hot Gorum Jol in the forest, a picnic somewhere. And
Yes.
to each of you, Jayadev, who now is also outside, Nityanandaram, safely inside in the evening in Colombia, Krishna Lalana and Gaura Hari in Australia, in various places in Australia. Good to have you with us. Samia Sindhu, Prabhu, and where is our Radha Sundari? Yes, the pictures are jumping around to both of you there in Navadip, Mayapur in India, Ki Jai, and our obeisances, and to Nirupama Devi Dasi and the team, the Manjari Didi there in Govinda land, looking very white and clean, nicely looked after. Sevā Rupa Devi Dasi, South Africa, Praneshwari Devi Dasi, looking after us all from the some spiritual quarter in Florida, Kumkum Didi. And if anybody I've missed out, please excuse me. And Anukul Chandra Prabhu, Krishna Priya Devi Dasi, and Nityananda Ram Prabhu, already happily giving our obeisances. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Thank you very much, Dandava Madhusudana Maharaj, for this beautiful
again and again our obeisances. I need to go, but I'll leave you together.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hari Hari.